Jai Gurudev. So have you all done your homework? I gave you only one page to read. Page 155, Punya and Pavana's story. Did you read it? No? You'll read it. It's okay. We'll start with page 155. Who wants to begin?
I can read. Okay. Vasistha continued, O Rama, in this connection there is an ancient legend which I shall narrate to you. There lived in a holy in the continent known as Jambu Diva, on the bank of river Yomaganga. There lived a holy man named Ekta, who had two sons named Punya and Pavana. Punya had reached full enlightenment, but Pavana, though he had overcome ignorance, had not yet reached full enlightenment, and hence he had semi-wisdom. With the inexorable passage of invisible and intangible time, the sage Ekta abandoned the body and reached the state of utter purity. Using the yogic method she had learned from him, his wife too followed him. At that sudden departure of the parents, Pavana was sunk in grief and wailed aloud inconsolably. Punya, on the other hand, performed the funeral ceremonies but remained unmoved by the bereavement. He approached his grieving brother Pavana. Punya said, Brother, why do you bring this dreadful sorrow upon yourself? The blindness of ignorance alone is the cause of this torrential downpour of tears from your eyes. Our father has departed from here along with your mother to that state of liberation, or the highest state which is natural to all beings and is the very being of those who have overcome the self. You have ignorantly bound yourself to the notion of father and mother, and yet you grieve for those who are liberated from such ignorance. Brother, inquire within yourself. This body is inert and is composed of blood, flesh, bone, and etc. What is the I in it? If you thus inquire into the truth, you will realize that there is nothing which is you, nor anything which is I. What is called Punya or Pavana is but a false notion. However, if you still think I am, then in the incarnations past you have had very many relatives. Why do you not live for their sins? David, you had many swan relatives when you were a swan, many tree relatives when you were a tree, many lion relatives when you were a lion, many fish relatives when you were a fish. Why do you not live for them? You were a prince, and you were a donkey, you were a big tree, and then a banyan tree, and there was a brahmana. You were a fly, and also a mosquito. You were an ant. You were a scorpion not grieve. Abandon the notion of world which arises in your body as the I. You have no unhappiness, no birth, no father, no mother. You are the self and not else. The sages perceive the middle path. They see what is an moment. They are at peace. They are established in witness consciousness. Thus instructed by his brother, Pavana was awakened. Both of them remained as enlightened beings, endowed with wisdom and direct realization.
Lovely story, no? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so Pavana and Punya, they were brothers, and their parents, basically they were going through tapas of their own, probably living in a hermit in the jungle, living a simple, astute life, and the father was Dirghatapa, and Dirghatapa, through his own penance, he dropped his body, yeah? And then his wife also did the same. So when they left the body, that is when Punya started crying. Pavana started. Yeah? Pavana started weeping for his parents. And that's when Punya told him all these beautiful things. Yeah? So, let's go directly to the second paragraph. Punya said, "Brother, why do you bring this dreadful sorrow upon yourself? The blindness of ignorance alone is the cause of this torrential downpour of tears from your eyes." What is ignorance here? What is the ignorance here?
Thinking that he is the body.
Perfect. Yeah? Because he thought, I am the body, and therefore whatever relatives are of this body, yeah, they are real. He got attached to this body and the relatives of this body. Even if they were mother and father, Punya is bringing him to the realization that you have had so many mother and fathers in your previous lifetime, and you will have so many mother and fathers in the next few lifetimes that you will have. So don't get attached to this body and don't grieve, unnecessarily be sad and brood about that which is anyway temporary. Yes, brooding about that which is temporary is ignorance. Got it? That is the ignorance he's talking about here. The blindness of ignorance alone is the cause of this torrential downpour of tears from your eyes. Our father has departed from here, along with our mother, to that state of liberation, or the highest state, which is natural to all beings and is the very being of those who have overcome the self. You have ignorantly bound yourself to the notions of father and mother, and yet you grieve for those who are liberated from such ignorance. So at death what happens? For a little while, for some time, before you take another body, that little time you are free from this ignorance. Which ignorance? Thinking I am the body and getting attached to all the relationships of this body. That is the time when you are naturally free from this ignorance. Yes? So his mother and father have become liberated from such ignorance. But Punya himself is tying himself, he's binding himself to this notion. Yeah? So beautifully, Punya is explaining this to Pavana. Pavana is binding himself to this notion of I am the body and that attachment to the relative of this body. Yeah? So he tells him, you inquire within yourself. This body is nothing, just blood and flesh and bones. Yeah? And you are getting attached to it. So that third paragraph is really, really important. Brother, inquire within yourself. This body is inert and is composed of blood, flesh, bones, etc. What is the I in it? Where is that I? Very beautifully put, no? If you thus inquire into the truth, you will realize that there is nothing which is you, nor nothing which is I. Actually going deep into this truth. Am I this body, just this blood and flesh and bones? And then inquiring within, okay, then am I this mind which goes on talking chitter chatter? No, I can observe the chitter chatter means I have to be separate from that which is doing the chitter chatter, right? So what am I? Who am I? Doing this inquiry, when you go deeper into it, you will understand who is this I. Yeah? What is called punya or pavana is but a false notion. Yeah? However, if you still think I am, if you're still adamant, no, I am, yeah? Then what? Then in the incarnations past you have had many relatives. Why do you not grieve for their death? Yeah? And then he goes on reiterating all the janmas that Pavana had taken. Yeah? From mosquito, ant, elephant, whatever, and now he was in a human form. Yeah? He said, you have so many relatives, they've all died. All your mothers in your previous lifetime died, all your fathers died. Yeah? Grieve for them also now. Why are you not grieving? Brood. Cry for them also. This is not happening. Then recognize this. My understanding is limited to this body. Yeah? And let me drop this grief. Yeah? This way or that way. Both ways you recognize this and you drop the grief. So if you are suffering from something like this is homework for you. Drop this attachment to the person that has departed. That person has got liberated of that ignorance, but you are holding on to that ignorance. Which ignorance? I am mine. My this and my that. Yeah? Drop, let go. This fist that is closed tight, open. Yeah? I have had many lifetimes before, and I will have many more after this. Yeah. So we'll skip that entire paragraph because he just talks about different births. And he talks about himself in the next paragraph. Even so, I have had many embodiments. I see them all, and your embodiments too, through my subtle intelligence, which is pure and clear vision. I was many incarnations, and then he is his brother. Whom shall I mourn? Considering this, I do not grieve. What is the point? I can't sit and mourn for so many relatives, so many mothers and fathers. Countless births I took. I find this pointless, I understand that, and now I'm ready to drop it. So I do not grieve. It's not that punya is not emotional or has become dry or is lifeless. No. Yeah? If you are thinking like this, you must drop this kind of thought. It is not that. He has matured to a higher level where he is not attached to any material object, and in this case material object is your mother and father. Yeah? Even a human being is a material object, is prakriti. Yeah? And that prakriti is related only to this body. When I drop this body, I drop all the relations also to this body. Yes, I am just established in peace. So that is the state of punya. Just established in that peace. Yeah? So it's not that he is not sensitive. He's very sensitive, he's very compassionate, he's full of love. But at the same time, he is not an emotional fool. Yeah? Emotions do not raise his graph up or, bring his graph down. Yeah? He is established in equanimity, sambhava. Okay? Abandon the notion of the world which arises in your mind as the I. You have no unhappiness, no birth, no father, no mother. You are the self and not else. The sages perceive the middle path. They see what is at the moment. They are at peace. They are established in witness consciousness. Yeah? Sakshi bhav. So your true test is when really somebody close in the family passes away. Yeah? That is your true test. What happens inside? Are you totally shaken and ruffled and brooding like Pavana, or are you established? Yeah? You do all the rites and rituals and everything, but in the center you are calm. Yes, your graph does not go up or down. And you understand this is the truth about life. Yes. So as instructed, they both got enlightenment. Yeah? Homework for you. If you are extremely attached to your parents, to your family, whatever, your child, your spouse, yeah? Recognize this, that one day that body is going to go. Yeah? It will depart. And it might depart before you. Drop this attachment, this feverishness, that want with the person. Yeah? Because your want and your craving of the person determines your sukha and dukkha. Yeah? That affects you. So, this is your homework number 1. Yeah? Recognize I have this attachment to this person in the family, and just drop it. Let go. Yeah? Understand this as a fact, that this person is going to die. Sooner or later. This is the truth about life. Yeah? And I am going to die. This body is also going to die. Attachment to that body is actually because of your attachment to this body. It's connected. Yeah? This body I am very, very attached to, and all the relationships of this body, then I get attached to. That is the second step. The first is the attachment to this body. So recognize this. This body is also going to die, and that is also going to die. However dear that person is to you, it's okay. Drop the attachment. Come to this establishment in peace. Peace with reality. This is the reality of life. Yeah? Now we'll read page 156. Yeah.
Vasistha continued. Training is the root of all sorrow. O Rama, the only intelligent way is to renounce all cravings completely and not to indulge in them. O Rama, this indeed is the Brahman state, pure, free from craving and from enemies.
is a continuation from seeking. You remember? He said that the mind is continuously seeking. Yeah? Every moment of the day, you go from one moment to another moment, the mind is constantly seeking for something, constantly looking to grab something, constantly looking to achieve something, constantly looking for somebody's attention, constantly looking to get something. Yeah? The tendency of your mind to want to keep busy is also a craving. Yeah? Recognize this thing. The mind wants to do this, and then after 5 minutes it wants to do this, and then again it wants to do this. These might be very small, meaningless things. Yeah? But this little craving in the mind to want to do, yeah? You just recognize it. You will come to this realization that in a day, in 24 hours, whatever your waking hours are, how much? 16, yeah, for the most hardworking people, yeah, or whatever. The even more hardworking people, 18, 20, yeah. In your whatever 16 to 20 hours of waking state, every minute to minute to minute, the mind is actually seeking. It wants something. It craves for something. Yeah? The mind is never still. Yes? That wanting is the root cause of sorrow. Got it? Yeah? The root cause of sorrow is a thought in the mind, and a thought is always about I want this. Give me this, I like this, I don't like this, this should not happen, this should happen. This is all want, this is all craving. From moment to moment to moment, your waking hours are just that. Yeah. Now come to the sleeping hours, 8 hours, yeah, for the lucky ones. Yeah. The other 6 hours, how much ever you sleep, 6 to 8 hours, is a reflection of the mind that was in the day. So if your mind is constantly craving, seeking, wanting, that's exactly what reflects in your dreams. So the mind is still working. Yeah? This craving, seeking, wanting from moment to moment to moment is the root cause of sorrow. Yeah? That's exactly what he's saying in the first line. Craving is the root of all sorrow, O Rama. And the only intelligent way is to renounce all cravings completely and not to indulge in them. Yeah? A few pages ago he said even to stop thinking, remember? Because thought is what? A thought is only about I want this, or I do not want this. This should happen, this should not happen. All that falls under the umbrella of craving. So not indulging in it means not thinking. Yeah? Completely quiet here. Absolute silence here. Yeah? And then just doing the action that has fallen in my lap. From moment to moment to moment. Yeah? In other words, dropping the doership. Yeah? So let's read that. O Rama, this indeed is the Brahman state, pure, free from craving and from illness. Yeah? He's not talking about illness of the body only, he's talking about illness of the mind. Yeah? So illness of the mind is this thought process, this continuous thinking in the mind. The mind attains fulfillment only by utter dispassion, vairagya. Yeah? Dropping complete thinking, dropping craving for all these material objects and just being. That is utter dispassion. Not by filling it with desires and hopes. I hope this will happen. Yeah? I hope that happens. I want this, I want that. This should not happen. I hope this does not happen. All this falls under the same umbrella. All these are never going to fill up your mind. Impossible. Your mind, I'm repeating the umpteenth time, is a bin pen deka lota. A bottomless pot. How much ever I put from the top, it is going to go down. It's never going to be satisfied with these desires and hopes. Yeah? So recognize this. Drop this thinking, wanting. Yeah? Drop this chitta chatter completely. Let go. Yeah? To those who are devoid of any attachment or craving, the three worlds are as wide as the footprint of a calf. Means they are meaningless. People who are established in dispassion do not care for the three worlds. Yeah? This mortal world or the heavens or the hell. Yeah? They are not bothered by these things. And a whole world cycle is but a moment. Means the way you feel, no, oh, time is going slow. When you say time is going slow, it means you feel that it is a struggle. Yeah? You feel that it is torture to go through it. Right? But when it goes in a moment, it means you've been very happy, you've been very joyous, you've been very centered. Right? So that is what is explained. One whole world cycle is but just a moment for that person who is established in Vairagya. Hence, for restoring peace to the mind, remove the disturbing cause, which is hope or craving. Yeah, so if your mind is saying, no, I don't crave for this, but it is only a preference that this should happen, Vasistha has put it in the same bucket. Yeah? Now you are graduating. So even a little thought in your mind is craving. Understand this. Yeah? So if your mind is coming up with any excuses, no, she didn't mean this. This is not craving. That is definitely craving. Yeah? So catch your own mind. Yeah? The only state of not craving is a silent state of mind. Just being. Yeah? Just being. Yeah?
I have a question. How does that reflect in our day-to-day activities? This state of being. For example, I go to work, open up my email, and I have a project assignment, and so I'm craving to finish that by noon today or whatever. You could call it craving, or you could just call it something which came into my lap and I'm just doing it. So I think there is I don't know if there is a line or if there is one between the two.
Yes.
Because everything I do, there's an end goal to it, at work, at home, whatever. There's an end goal. And I think I understand that if I do it without attachment and without getting entangled into the result, then it is not craving. But it seems like whatever you're saying, everything I do seems to be falling into the craving category.
Absolutely. That means everything has been craving for you till now. You recognize it. It's going to be very difficult. I'm telling you from here, Vasistha is going to make you walk on the sword. You're walking on the sharp razor's edge. It is like that. Every thought that we've had till now, every little action that we've done has only been out of craving till now. And Vasistha is saying there is a way to do everything that falls into your lap devoid of this craving. I'm just 100% in the moment. Yeah? I have reached work. I don't have an option. Yeah? This is my karma, this work. That email coming to me is my karma. I just start whatever I have to do. You have to go into the system, you have to troubleshoot something, go ahead and troubleshoot. There is no need of a craving in the mind, oh, I have to do it by noon, I have to do it by noon. No. Just do it. Completely shut off. This mind is completely shut off. Only the body is working, hands are working for a computer professional, for somebody else who really needs to use,
But on one hand, you're saying that the thoughtless mind is the antidote for craving. But then I have to put some thought to just do it, right? Or some body effort to just do it, what you just said. So it's a little contradictory to each other.
No. When I have to type an email also, haven't you noticed it automatically happens? You are not really doing it. You think that there is a thought. You think that you are actually doing it. Take one step back and just watch your hands on that keyboard. And you will notice automatically words are coming from the memory bank. And I am not that memory. Yeah? Automatically, whatever is stored in my memory for that particular problem in the system, that software which I have worked on before, that will come out automatically, but I am separate from it. Yes? Then there will be no feverishness. When I get lost in that memory, then there are thoughts. There is no need for thought. Yeah? This will happen only when you start separating yourself from your own memory. You are not your memory. Your work is happening from that memory. Yes, similarly, anything in life, your actions at home, if you are even lawn mowing, it is happening from memory. This craving in the mind that this should be done by this time is something you have taken on yourself. That is the root cause of sorrow, not the action in itself. Yeah? Think about this a little more. And actually, by thinking it will not happen, you have to start separating yourself from whatever work, whatever job has fallen your way. And just observe it happening. It is actually happening on its own. These are not words.
I agree with you. I think what I'm trying to say is, I don't feel like I'm hankering on to getting it done by noon. What I'm saying is there's some thought process involved while I'm doing it. And what you were saying earlier is the antidote to all this is there should be no thought process.
Yes. Again, I'm telling you the same thing. Whatever, even if it is an email which requires words, those words are coming from the memory. And I am separate from my body, my mind, my intellect, my memory, my ego. Are you getting this? These are different faculties. I am separate from them. Yes? When I recognize I am separate from them, yeah, and I just remain established, you will be in that thoughtless state while performing that action, even if it involves words. I've told you this story before, I'll repeat it. Buddha had been teaching for about 42 years. He tells Ananda, you know, Ananda, I have not spoken a single word in 42 years. So Ananda says, what? For 42 years you have been giving sermons to people and you have been explaining about the noble path, yeah, and the Four Noble Truths, you know all that about Buddhism, right? You have been explaining all this to people for 42 years in front of me, and I have been there, and you are saying that you have not said a word. So Buddha said, yes, I have not said a word in 42 years. Do you get it? Yeah? Being established in the self. When you are established in the self, there is no thought process. Thought process happens when the self gets lost in either the memory or the intellect or the mind or the ego. That's where the thought comes up. When you separate yourself from everything and you're established in the self, there is no thought. Action will still happen at the periphery. Even if the action is of talking to people, the mind is absolutely quiet. Are you getting this? Yeah.
Bullseye. Then what is the point of self in this mind body?
What is the importance of? I cannot hear you.
What is the point of self in this mind body? Each time.
Okay, 1 minute.
Like all these faculties are like.
Lot of people are on unmute, so I could not hear you.
It seems like. Oh. Nobody can hear me?
No, now we can. We muted a lot of people. Can you keep muting the other people, please?
What is the point of self in this mind body, which is like a machine running off of memory, intellect, and things? That is not the self. If memory is making it mechanically react to a stimulus, then what is the self doing at all?
The self is lost in it. That is the problem. Again, take your memory back to how the creation came about. First, you moved out of the pool of consciousness by saying I. That was the birth of your ego. Yes, the first I was your ego. Yes, this ego then had its first desire. Yeah, it said I want. Yeah, or it said I am this, and it became that. So how does this I want this, I am this, all this result into impressions? No, impressions started forming. Impression is nothing but a memory. Yeah, so I have my ego, I have my memory. Yeah, through different lifetimes I developed the intellect. Yeah, the mind is very rudimentary at say at an amoeba or a microorganism level, and your mind today is very developed. Correct? You've seen the difference. That way only the mind and intellect were almost 0.0001% here, and then slowly they started developing. So all these faculties started developing. Mind, intellect, these impressions are nothing but memory. Yeah? All this is happening to who? Who is it happening to? Got it? So the self got lost in all this, created its own dreams. Like you create your own dreams in the night. You lie down on the bed and you start dreaming you are this big bird, and then you have wings, and then you start flying in the sky, and this happens to you and that happens to you, and all these small little things that you have created in your own mind, they really don't exist. So the self is lost in this dream right now. Yes? You are lost in this dream. What is Vasistha trying to do? Again and again he is saying, separate yourself from this dream. It's like wake up. The moment you separate yourself from the dream and recognize, oh, I am not this, yeah, but I am the self. However you want to draw it, anything I draw will not be sufficient. I am the self. I was lost in this, but I am separate from this. When you recognize I am separate, yeah, then you reach that thoughtless state. that state of non-craving, the state of utter dispassion that he's talking about. Got it? Till the time you are lost in this drama, this dream of yours, you will have thoughts. You identify with those thoughts. That is the problem. You are identifying with this body. Body, mind, intellect, everything falls here. But you are not this. This is just your dream. You are this, nothingness. Then how can there be thoughts in nothingness? Yeah? So he's saying, drop this. Drop the thinking itself. Yeah? Read the past 10 pages again. The seeking part, from where he started about seeking and then dropping the seeking and then dropping thought itself. That is very, very important. You must repeat it. Yeah? When you drop that thinking itself, you separate yourself from this dream of yours. And when you separate yourself out from this, you recognize, oh, all this does not matter. This will still go on. Your mother, your father, your child, your wife, your husband, your family will all be there. All the drama will continue, but at the periphery. And then you will recognize that, oh, I am that quiet consciousness that is just watching everything that is happening. Yeah. He ended that last page very beautifully, no? That the wise one is established in the witness consciousness. This is the witness consciousness. Recognizing this is what I am, the nothingness that I am. Yeah? And then just being there. Then even emails happen. Yeah? But it's happening from the memory and you can observe it. Yeah? You do not have the thoughts. You are not lost in this craving. It's like mechanically everything happens at the periphery, but I do not create any more karma. Yeah? That is the basic funda of everything here. Is that clear? Who wants to read ahead now is the story. Yeah? Very interesting story about Bali. Even though he was a demon, how his journey happened of getting into enlightenment. You can read now.
Should I read?
Yeah.
Or, O Rama, bring about the transmutation of the mind even as King Bali did. I shall narrate to you the story of Bali. The demon king Bali, son of Virojana, ruled over Pandala region. The Lord of the universe, Sri Hari himself was the protector of this king. Hence, even the king of heaven, Indra, adored him. By the heat of the very radiance of this king Bali, the oceans got dried up, as it were. His eyes were so powerful that by a mere look, he could move mountains. Bali ruled for a very long time over the nether world. In course of time, intense dispassion overcame King Bali, and he began to inquire thus, how long should I rule over me? How long shall I wander in the three worlds? What shall I gain by ruling over this kingdom? When all that is in the three worlds is subject to destruction, how can one hope to enjoy happiness through all this? Again and again, the same disgusting picture are experienced and the same acts are repeated day after day in this world. How is it that even a wise man is not ashamed of this? The same day and the same night, again and again, life in this world revolves like a whirlpool, doing
Okay. Yeah, so it's the story of Bali. Yeah, Bali had conquered all the three worlds. You know this, right? He was a demon, an asura. Yeah? And he had conquered all the three worlds. But he was a very a person who would honor the gods, who would respect everything. Yes, so even Lord Indra, and he is the god of gods, Lord Indra. So even he would adore Bali. So Bali is such a good person and who has conquered all the worlds. He started thinking that what is the purpose of life basically? Yeah? Is it just going through one day into another day and repeating the same rubbish? Yeah? Eat, sleep, sex, eat, sleep, sex. Is that all that life is? Yeah? Or is there a deeper meaning to life? And what is the way to get out of this repetitive existence? You understand repetitive, right? Going from one lifetime to another lifetime to another lifetime, doing the same things, basically. It's not your first lifetime that you have children and you're working and you're doing the same things and you are in spirituality. You've done this before also, and before that also, and before that also. So this is repetitive existence. He's saying, what is the end to this? How long can we continue to do this? Yeah, and the wise would definitely be ashamed of what? Is this it? Is this all that I am? Yeah. Ask yourself this question. Homework number 2. Are you still not ashamed of the same repetitive existence that you have been involved in? You ask yourself this question. Yeah. So Bali went and asked Virochana. Virochana is his father. Yeah. He was also very, in supreme knowledge. He was regarded as one of the Pandits who knew everything. Yeah. So Bali asked his own father. So let's see what Virochana has to say to Bali. Yeah. Before we go ahead, there's nothing difficult on that page, right? It was all simple to understand. Yes? We can read ahead.
Virochana said to Bali, my son, there is a vast realm wide enough to engulf the three worlds. In it, there are no lakes, no oceans, no mountains, no forests, no rivers, no earth, no sky, no winds, no moon, no gods, no demons, no demigods, no vegetation, no heaven, no high and low, no words, not me, not the gods like me. Only one is there, and that is the Supreme Light. He is omnipotent, omnipresent, He is all, and He remains silent as if inactive. Prompted by Him, the King, His minister does everything. What has not been, He brings about, and what is, He alters. This minister is incapable of enjoying anything. He does not know anything. Though ignorant and insentient, he does everything for the sake of his master, the king. The king remains alone, established in peace.
Okay, let me stop you just for a minute. You're getting it, right? You're not lost. Bali's question is, when does this repetitive existence end? Yeah? When will this delusion end? How will we get out of this? So Virochana says, there is another realm. You understand? Realm, this is the physical realm. Bhutakasha. Yeah? In which we physically exist. Everything is physical. There is another realm of existence. Yes? In that vast realm of existence, all the three worlds can just be engulfed. Yeah? Basically, it is nothingness or space or the self or Brahman consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Yeah? So he's saying, there nothing exists. I won't read all that, but no oceans, mountains, gods, whatever demigods, none of this exists. Only one is there, and that is the Supreme Light. He is omnipotent. Omnipotent means all powerful. Omnipresent means he is present everywhere. He is all. Yeah, he is everything. And he remains silent, as if inactive. Yeah, the Brahman consciousness is absolute silence. Yeah. Now is the most beautiful part. That's the mysterious part of this story. The king and the ministers. Okay? So he says now, prompted by him, this one omnipresent, omnipotent, all, prompted by him, he's called the king. The minister does everything. Yeah? The minister is ignorant, does not know anything. Yeah? He just keeps doing things. And he does it for the king. And the king remains alone, established in peace. Got it? Yeah? We can read ahead.
Father, what is that realm which is free from psychosomatic illnesses? Who is that minister and who is that king? The story is wonderful and unheard of. Kindly explain all this to me in detail. Virochana replied, all the gods and demons put together and even a force many times their strength cannot even challenge the minister. He is not Indra, the king of the gods, nor the god of death, nor the god of wealth, nor a god, nor a demon whom you can easily conquer. Though it is believed that the god Vishnu killed the demons, it was indeed this minister who destroyed them. In fact, even the gods like Vishnu were overpowered by him and made to take birth here. Cupid derives his power from this minister. Anger derives its power from him too. It is because of his wish that there is unceasing conflict between good and evil here. This minister can only be defeated by his own master, the king, by no one else. When in due course of time there arises such a wish in the heart of the king, this minister can be easily defeated. He is the most powerful in all the three worlds, and the three worlds are but his exhalation. If you have the ability to conquer him, then indeed you are a hero. When the minister arises, the three worlds are manifested. Even as the lotus blossoms when the sun rises, when he retires, the three worlds become dormant. If you can conquer him with your mind utterly one-pointed and completely free of delusion and ignorance, then you are a hero. If he is conquered, then all the worlds and everything in them are conquered. If he is not conquered, then nothing is conquered. Even if you think you have conquered this or that in this world. Hence, my son, in order to attain absolute perfection and eternal bliss, strive with all your might and in every possible manner, whatever be the difficulties and obstacles, to conquer that minister.
Now, without looking ahead, tell me who is the minister? Who got it? Bolo Sandesh.
The thought is the minister.
Okay. Who else got it?
Mind.
Yeah. The mind is the minister, and who is the king?
Self. The self.
Yeah, the self or the consciousness. Beautiful, na? So beautifully explained, na? Yeah, just read a few lines which you can highlight. The second paragraph after Virochana starts speaking. This minister can only be defeated by his own master, the king, by no one else. This you must highlight. This will really help you understand further. When in due course of time there arises such a wish in the heart of the king, this minister can be easily defeated. Yeah? So understand this. He's saying that if the consciousness or the self understands that it is not the mind and it must defeat the mind can be defeated. The minister can be defeated. It's just that the king has to realize, oh, I am the king. Yes? And has to have that wish in the heart to destroy the minister. He is the most powerful in all the three worlds, and the three worlds are but his exhalation. If you have the ability to conquer him, then indeed you are a hero. Yeah? Not otherwise. When the minister arises, the three worlds are manifested. You got it? The moment the subtle mind came and said, I, the three worlds were manifested. Yeah? From this only all Prakriti has come. Yes? From this only all your even heavens and hell has come. Yeah? So when the minister arises, the three worlds are manifested. Even as the lotus blossoms when the sun rises. When he retires, the three worlds become dormant. As in, when your mind dies, all this world that you have created, all this ego, mind, intellect, memory, and all this physical world, Bhutakasha and Chittakasha, everything will die, will end. Yes? The only thing is the minister needs to be conquered. When he retires, the three worlds become dormant. If you can conquer him with your mind, utterly one-pointed and completely free of delusion and ignorance, then you are a hero. Utterly one-pointed is very important. Yeah? Being 100% focused that this is what I want. Dropping the mind, moving away from what I thought is I. This Maya or this delusion or ignorance, yeah, is what has been captivating me. Moving away from this and getting established in the self. Yeah. Just this wish has to arise, and that is sufficient. Yeah. But you have to be one-pointed in that wish. You cannot say, oh, today it's okay, I want to move away. No, tomorrow I want to enjoy that pleasure, that material thing, attracts me. So I want to have fun now. And then I'm not one-pointed, I'm scattered, and then again I come back, no, I want to be established in the self. But again I get lost in some material pleasure or some Maya. Then I'm not one-pointed. Are you getting this? Your one-pointedness has to be like completely loyal. The way you are loyal to your spouse. Yeah? Just like that. One-pointedness. Yeah? Even more than that. Yeah? And completely free of delusion and ignorance. Free of Maya. Delusion and ignorance is your attraction to all the material objects of this world, Maya. Then only are you a hero. Yes? If he's conquered, then all the worlds and everything in them are conquered. If he is not conquered, then nothing is conquered. Even if you think you have conquered this or that in this world. What is this or that? Correct. Money, beautiful women, handsome men, cars, houses, whatever, this and that. How much ever you acquire, you have got nothing if you have not conquered the mind. Clear? Hence, my son, in order to attain absolute perfection and eternal bliss, strive with all your might and in every possible manner whatever be the difficulties and obstacles, to conquer that minister. Yes? Your Purushartha should be 100%. Yeah? However difficult this path may be. Yes? However difficult it is to do the Yoga Vasistha classes, but still you just strive to be here, come what may. Yes? That is your Purushartha. And slowly, slowly Vasistha will take you there. So, it's already 9:10. I'll let you read the next 2 pages. It's very, very interesting. The story of the minister and the king. Yeah. So, for homework, page 158, 159. Okay, read these 2 pages and see if you can get it. It's very beautiful, it's very interesting also. Yeah. So, Bali asks, who is this minister? Who is the king? Yeah, and how can I really conquer this mind? Yeah, you already know the answer. See, you're Vasistha experts. Yeah? But read ahead and see what Virochana said to Bali. Yeah? Next time, please do your homework. I will not read these 2 pages with you again. Huh? See that you do your homework next time. Okay? Your exam is coming up very soon. As soon as Bali's story gets over, yeah, is your 3rd semester exam. Yeah? And the most important, you know, what is the most important thing that you've learned in the past 40 pages? Drop seeking, drop craving. Yeah? So start studying, guys. Yeah? And homework is the next 2 pages, and I'll see you next week. Okay? Jai Gurudev.